Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with two men who need introductions. Bill Englehart and Mike Carroll. Mike, the former judge and state's attorney. Bill, the former retired middle school principal. You know these guys. They've been around a while. Look at them.
You can tell. Believe me, that's good, David, right there. That's said it all.
Right there.
Yeah.
We're just hoping we don't wind up in Carlinsville.
I've been to Carlinville. It's a nice town.
Yeah, except for a couple businesses.
Yeah.
No,
In particular.
we own the newspaper there.
Oh, did you?
Well, I didn't, but the company I work for.
Well, Bill and I own the funeral home there.
Yeah. You may before it's all over.
I know. State of Illinois is going to own it.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
Okay.
What you got for us this week?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to tell you what I'm working on because if I do, you'll spill it on the air.
Well,
like you just did.
Oh, I see. So you're working on this article out of Alton, Illinois?
Yeah.
The stabbing in Alton, is that what you're working on?
I don't know. I'm not working on anything right this minute.
Just give us a little taste.
I'm working on a cigar.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's got a nice look at that ash. That's a long filter cigar. That's a good cigar.
This is a Romeo y Julieta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be able to buy those at Brookside when I was a little boy.
That's easy to say.
I'll have a chocolate shake and a Romero Agabuce Gata.
Gus didn't have those.
Gus had King Edwards,
White Owl,
Dutch Masters, Emerson's.
El Maco.
Yeah, those are all short filter cigars. Ooh. Now that's a really nice cigar. Romeo and Juliet. That's a nice moderate, medium, smooth cigar.
It's a good one.
Our best out and remembering Tuscola to our friend and former school superintendent, Jim Boyles.
Yeah.
Hope he continues to
In the hospital.
improve.
Latest word was he might still be
there for a while.
Be there for a couple of days in intensive care. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's a sneak a cigar to him.
Yeah, sneak a cigar to him. And I'm glad Jim got his honor flight in and before this medical emergency happened to him.
Yeah.
That's why Bill and I don't fly or travel. It's just too much, right?
Well, we don't want to miss Thursday afternoon.
We stay right here at sea level.
Right.
We don't want to get out.
We haven't gone far.
We haven't gone far.
No.
We're going to go down Chesterville here or Bourbon. We're going down to Bourbon this afternoon. That's probably about as far as we're going to go.
Abraham Lincoln went there.
He did.
And
Bourbon?
Yes. Yeah, that's a little historical fact for all the viewers out there.
Did he stay the night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big hotel there.
Is it still there?
No hotel. It was a friend, acquaintance. I forget all the particulars now. It was a big home.
Stayed at Ann Rutherford's, didn't he?
He wanted to.
Poor guy.
In the post office.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Well, that's getting close to where Al Capone used to stay once in a while, isn't it? Didn't he down toward Mattoon?
Well, you get a little further, you get Harrisburg, Williamsburg.
He had a
Claire
place over at Rossville, I thought, on Highway 1.
Oh yeah, places all over the place. Just think 100 years from now, they're going to say, Mike Carroll slept in this house.
Yeah.
Mike Carroll stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
Englehart stayed over there next door to him.
Yeah. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I heard the Rosie Clare Chamber of Commerce is already making plans
Well,
for Bill's childhood home.
Rosie Clare,
Rosie Clare.
and what a building that was.
That's where Al Capone used to go. Cave in Rock used to hide in the caves there.
I've told you, my mother lived on top of the cave.
Oh, she did?
My grandfather worked for the Corps of Engineers, and there was a government house on top of the cave, and she actually lived in that house.
Wow.
My ancestors lived in the cave.
My ancestors lived in the Ohio River
Well, they lived in a cave.
in the current.
Yeah. So
Well, we all are infamous.
they're
Okay, a picture now.
Enough of us two famous guys
Yeah,
here.
two famous people.
Public only takes so much information about us.
okay. All right. You want to get to some pictures?
Mhm.
Well, I think if anybody's watching, they would like that a little better.
Well, let's go. What are you waiting for?
Mhm.
The picture master.
I hope I got the
You're the
right
man.
file here. Is this the right file?
Yeah.
You going to church, Sunday best,
Catholic Church.
Catholic Church.
Who is that?
Look all dressed up, and that's
Looks like in the late 50s again. Looks like this is probably what, 57?
there's a 56 Pontiac or
Pontiac.
57 Pontiac.
Or Cadillac.
A Cadillac, about a 55, 54.
54, 55. Oldsmobile on the right.
Yep. That's 57, I
I'm
think.
guessing 57.
Me too.
Catholic Church.
Who is that, David?
That's the Pope coming to town.
I don't have any comments on that one, but they used to take a lot of pictures of people going to church. I think maybe that was the way to make sure people kept going to church is
Well, they were dressed up.
I bet that's Easter.
could be.
That's Americana right there. Small town Americana. Well, there on the right is this is the class of 63. That's Hauser on the right. Oaks on second one in. Jerry Little, Winkler, Bonnie Hanners, Joyce Thomas, Sandy Teague, and Meredith Inslee.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
We think. Must be about 8th grade.
Yeah, this might have been class of 63. Or 60, excuse me. This class 64.
You notice the way they're dressed. I mean, prim and proper.
Yeah, below the knees.
Well,
Meredith Inslee, you think at the end?
I think it is.
That's
It's on the stage. That's Sandy Teague.
Is that Joyce Thomas, third one?
Well, when you say Joyce Thomas, which one is?
She married Joe Kleiss.
Okay.
Lived down on
Yeah.
Sale Street. And I think that's what on the right. I called her a Hauser. Is that right?
Well, I want to say it's a Hauser.
Janelle.
It's
Janelle.
Alan's sister.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely the Oaks and Little.
Teresa Little married Denny Winkler.
Judy really hasn't changed that
No,
much.
Judy hasn't changed. Judy Harris.
I think it's
Teresa Winkler married Teresa Little married Denny Winkler, football player from Newman, went over played at Milliken, coached up in the Peoria area.
Yeah, Hall of Fame coach.
Hall of Fame, had a neck about a 24 neck.
Yeah, way strong.
Strong as a bull. There we go.
Gene Murray standing.
Yeah, that's Mr. Murray standing, dressed up, looks nice. Charlie Whalen leaning back in charge. Don Rumley he's thinking, what am I doing here?
Where's my next job?
Yeah, where's my next job?
Why did I kick that cameraman?
Who's this lady on the left?
That's not Mrs. Whalen, is it?
You know what? It could very well be, but man, that's a side profile.
I think it's Mrs. Whalen. Looks like her daughter. Remember?
Could be. Oh, yeah.
What was her name? Buddy. And Buddy was my class. And Ann Whalen, I
Ann
think.
Wales.
She's a tomboy. She's a
Yeah.
good athlete. I think that's her mom. And that's Don's wife, I think,
Yeah, it is.
next to him.
Gene cleaned up pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Girl on the right looks familiar. Looks like Patty Waters.
I don't think so. Looks like Carolyn Jackson on the right, but I could be wrong. That's not Mrs. Ponder, is it? Second one from the right.
No. Well, if it is, that's a long time ago.
This is 50s, I think. It's 57.
I bet it's 60s. What you got, David?
Mary
Yeah.
Kate Jackson on the far right, Wanda Brown on the far left, maybe.
Well, I thought it was Mary Jane Jackson on the right. How about the
Well,
second?
you said it was Carolyn Jackson.
Mary Jane.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I said.
Who
That's Mary Jane had the ponytail. Carolyn had more blonder hair.
did you say the taller lady was?
She didn't say.
You didn't say?
No, I only had the ones on the ends.
Well, it looks a little bit like Mrs. Ponder. I can't believe she'd get dressed up like that, but Miriam.
Looks like maybe a fashion show.
There's Libby Kegley. There's my sister-in-law on the right.
We had one of these pictures last week, but this is a different.
That's a different one.
Yeah,
different
Jan Charnesky. Now there's Carolyn Jackson. See,
Okay.
Nita Bozarth, and I think that's Pat Consour, but I don't know the last one. You think the last one looks like
I
Consour?
don't know. I really don't. I remember Butch, and he left here when, Becky?
You got anybody?
Seventh grade.
Got anything on this one?
He was popular.
Nope.
Nope, that's out of towners. I've never seen those.
That's
folks.
Hugo. Methodist Church in Hugo.
Marine Deaver Purcell says, is the woman sitting Mary B. Claire Long? Chubb Connor says yes.
Said who? Mary
B. Claire Long.
Married Bud Long.
Well, I don't know who she married. But Chubb says yes.
What?
Chubb got in there. There we go. That on the left looks like Ruby Caldwell, Joe's mother, I think. On the right is Kay Kleiss.
And
Second
that's
one in.
Carol McCarty.
Carol McCarty's next one in. Who's the third one from the right?
I don't know.
I think it's Ruby Caldwell on the left. I don't know. Maybe not.
Ruby would have been in the style show because
Well, she worked
at Carpenter's.
She worked at Four Seasons for a long time.
Yeah, she did later on.
Christy Clyce Townsend said she thought it was Clarice Hausman on the left. Doesn't look like
No,
Clarice to me.
That doesn't look like
No.
Clarice to me.
not back then. She would have been a lot younger.
Yeah. The other, let's see, of course, we got Kay Kleiss and Carol McCarty, but I'm not sure who the other one is.
No.
That didn't change much over the years.
Well, now there we have 1, 2, 3. The gal looking right at the door is Bonnie Powell, I think. It's Betty, not Bonnie. It's Betty Powell's was my class older sister, Patty Powell. And then next to her, we should know.
Yeah, I don't know though.
But I do believe that's Patty Powell looking
so.
right at the camera,
Yeah.
standing in the door.
This was definitely the style show at the community building.
Well, there's Bill's new truck came in. He hit a pole.
I'm guessing putting up Christmas decorations.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
That'd be Flessers right there. You remember
Yeah.
it used to be covered with that stucco?
Yeah.
Yep. If you look down the street across the tracks,
There's Dunn's Drugs.
see Dunn's Drugstore.
See the 2-story building down there?
Mm-hmm.
Dunn's Drugs was on the west half of that building. That was called the Lamb Building, I think.
Well,
I
Rich Land had a
remember that
place in the
building.
back, didn't he? It's a shop.
Yeah, I think he owned the building or the lot.
Yeah, he owned the building.
But Mr. Dunn had a pharmacy. We had about 3 pharmacies downtown, and he had a soda shop, a little soda fountain thing.
What happened to the building?
Burned down.
When?
I would say that burned down 50s, 60s. I don't know, maybe 70s.
See, I don't remember it.
Yeah,
That's been before my time. Just another.
Those things are before your time.
his daughter. They had 2 daughters. Weish was my class, and then Jane Dunn was probably 61, class 61, class of 60,
Libby's class.
62. I mean,
This does not look like it's OSHA certified.
it actually is. This is how OSHA began. That guy fell off of that, broke his neck, and that OSHA began right here. Photos of this went to Washington, and that was the end of that.
Sometimes you just make do with what you got.
Well, you got to do it.
That's what you do.
There's
Sharon Spomer on the ride. Mrs. Weimer in the middle.
Mrs. Weimer, the tall one's Mrs. Weimer. And
I see Helen Lee standing next to Mrs. Weimer.
second from the left is Helen Lee, worked at TNB. And the far left is, I'll give you the far left.
Well, yeah, because I don't know who it is.
So I give you the easy one and you muff it.
No, that's not Judy Bean. That's not Judy.
She would have been younger then, wouldn't
Kind of
she?
looks like her. Don't know. But that's definitely Helen Lee,
Mhm.
Carol Weimer, Sharon Spomer. But we don't know the other 2, I don't think.
Well, Marilyn Moody has them as Donna Cleland,
Oh, yeah.
Helen Lee, Carol Weimer, and then that's Lucy Owie
That's Mrs. Owie.
and Sharon Spomer.
Geez, as long as I worked with Lucille.
I
I
can
gave
kind
you-
of see it.
Yeah, you gave me Donna
I
Cleveland.
gave you the, I knew it.
Yeah.
The easiest one there and you couldn't.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Golly.
Can't you tell from her blonde hair?
Yeah. And parent teacher conferences with her. Yeah.
That's who they've got, but I think it looks like Lucy Owie.
Well, it does. It does. Now, I mean, we're talking several years ago, once again.
This looks like in the 60s, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is that Ruth Sigler?
Well, I don't know.
Is it? I thought maybe Helen.
Helen Sigler.
No, I don't think so.
Kind of looks like her, but I
A
don't have
little
any,
bit.
I don't
little
have any
bit.
names on that. Now these I know.
Yeah, that's Roy and Dee Gould and yeah,
Dad, Walt.
his dad, Walt.
Walt.
Good picture.
It's be the bus barn.
The old bus barn.
Walt used to have a gas station there, didn't he? On that?
Yeah, one time he did.
This is when the military came to recruit at high school.
Mhm. I don't have
Yeah,
any names. I'm
Sonic
guessing
Lights. I don't know what it's, who they are. They're not,
guessing Masons.
yeah.
Lower left is Pat Morrow. Well, the upper middle.
I'm sorry, this is grade school.
You know, the one at the top in the middle looks like Teresa Cunningham.
You're doing good, Mike. Keep going.
That was Teresa.
So we've got Pat Morrow, Teresa Cunningham. I mean, these girls are a lot. Oh, is this a Verdier down here?
Donna Badir.
No, there's no Donna Verdier.
Oh,
There's Lana and Debbie.
oh, Donna. You didn't know Donna. You didn't know Donna.
Mike can't be wrong, Carol, but
I'm saying it's a Badir.
Marcy Shoemaker says it's Pat Morrow, Jane Swihart, Teresa Cunningham, Cindy Morrow, and Sylvia Wellborn.
So it's Cindy.
Cindy Morrow.
Now, I thought that looked like Teresa Wellborn.
It's her.
Well, I thought it looked like a Verdier. That's a compliment.
Cindy Morrow. That wasn't her dad too. what is his name too? Tomorrow?
You're working on your puns again. Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
Well, that's old Smoke McCumber, Tom Cumber. Terry Benyon was a guidance counselor. Gary Neal. And is that a Thody?
Cody.
Yeah. Terry Benyon. Didn't do a damn thing.
Well, now that was rough. There's Ricky, in the back is Ricky Wellborn on the left.
Willoughby.
Standing next to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The girls, I think the middle girl is Waldrop.
I think you're right.
And on the left, we should know the one on the left.
We should, and I've got her name, but it's right on the tip of my tongue. Okay, give it to us.
Nancy Blackard says Rick Wellborn, Richard Willoughby, Peggy Weber, Linda Waldrop, Nancy Townsend, and she doesn't remember the occasion.
Yeah. Peggy Weber. We should have got that one. Mary
Brenda
Darrell
Roller says probably something to do with smart people.
Mary Darrell Price.
Mary Darrell Price.
Diana Trinkle West says maybe class officers.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a certificate in their lap, though. There, this.
I think it has something to do with smart people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez. That's Word Prophet, Bill Burris, and who's that on the left?
Is that Orb in the middle?
Yeah.
Red Prophet's brothers sold cars.
Yeah.
It must be Bill's. This could be student. What is that for? Zeroing on the trophy. They used to provide cars for driver's ed. Is that a car?
I don't know. It could be a car.
Yeah, Bill could have won some kind of driver's ed thing. He taught driver's ed.
Yeah, he was
for the year.
A young Bill Burris.
Yeah.
He got in a bad wreck one time.
Oh yeah, he was in a bad wreck.
Bucko was in a bad one too.
How look how skinny Burris looks.
He was always fairly thin.
Yeah, he was thin back in the day.
Yeah, I mean it was never heavy, but he wasn't this skinny when I
No, he gained a couple. He gained a couple pounds.
He gained a little bit.
Eating hot dogs and hamburgers on the golf circuit.
On the golf course.
That's National Honor Society.
I like how they used a cigar box here for the
El Producto. That was the other cigar.
That was the other. Yeah.
Gus sold El Producto, Emerson, White Owl.
that box probably came from Flesser's.
Yeah.
It didn't have any names.
That's Gary Lytle on the right. It's Tim Hole, Weber.
Bobby Mattingly. Or Bob Matheny.
Which one's Bob Matheny?
You can't see you.
Right there. I thought it was
That's right.
Weber. You think that's Bobby Matheny?
Well, I was going to say it's Bob Matheny.
So that's Gary Lytle, Tim Hole. Don't know.
Who's the tall boy?
Not Noakes, is it?
No, not that I'm aware of. Okay, we give up.
The T.R. Miller ag teacher and Debbie Dean Steiner says Dennis Atkinson on the end behind T.R. Miller ?
That's
That's Gary Lytle.
Gary Lytle.
Dennis Oaks on the left.
Yeah, it is an Oaks.
Let's see, what else have we got?
So it's probably Bob Matheny. The second one in from the left is probably, you're right. He probably would have been an FHA,
Mm-hmm.
FFA.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
One of our favorite
guys.
of all time, one of the nicest guys in Tuscola, a lawyer, Arnhem Bear.
Yeah. This is probably something for citizenship.
Yeah, American Legion or something.
Yeah, I don't have any names on that.
Had 4 kids, Bob, Steve, Jeff,
Celeste,
Celeste. On the left is Jimmy Kleiss,
who I just saw as I was driving to your house.
Les Hall.
Les Hall.
I'll give you the easy ones.
Thanks.
The fifth one in is Melinda Ringer.
Sarah Romine's looking at Melinda Ringer.
Fourth one in is Sarah Romine, Melinda Ringer, and the far right is
Can't tell. kind of fudge.
Almost looks like belts.
Looks like to me that old Hall got inducted into the National Honor Society. They used to do this on the last day of school.
Yeah.
Kathy Clapper says, Marcy next to Marge, Romine.
That's Sarah
Fine to
Romine.
Marcy, yeah.
She's Sarah Cannon now. She taught in Villa Grove, retired teacher.
Nancy O'Brien on far right.
Nancy O'Brien.
There you go.
Yeah,
Phil's sister.
Phil O'Brien's sister. Phil was in Bill's class.
Marge Swihart, third one from the left.
Marge Swihart, we didn't get her.
Bob Matheny's late wife.
There's Russ Helm,
Yep.
investigator for the sheriff's office. And
Who is that?
on
sitting
the
down
left.
there?
I had several, I only used one, but I had several pictures from this. Looked like they confiscated a bunch of guns
Yeah,
and ammunition.
I don't know that.
Who's the gal?
Well, it could be a radio guy on the left. He's sitting there next to the radio. Maybe
Mhm.
not a deputy, just a radio guy. I don't know the gal.
Okay.
Rick Reeves.
Rick Reed.
Rick Reed. And
Can't tell.
Which one's Rick Reed?
He's in a tie,
dark suit.
dark suit.
I didn't have any names on that one.
There's Linda Matheny from class of 65, greatest class alive. Probably just got back from the 64 Tokyo Olympics.
She's telling Mr. Murray something about it.
Gene Maloney, it
Gene
looks like
Maloney.
Bucko. Is that Bucko next to Maloney?
I can't tell, but I will say this. See off of, on the table in front there, those Indians?
Mhm.
They used to put those on the powwow banquet tables, right?
Right.
I've got two of them at home.
Well, Linda Matheny, not only a three-time Olympian, a great gal, and she was a James Scholar at the U of I. She was a pretty girl. Look how cute she looks there. And looks like a Tingley. His name Paul Tingley?
No, Paul's a boy.
What was his name? Bob Tingley? What was his name? Guy started. That's Tingley.
It's Tingley.
He was a national president of ABC there for a while.
Yeah. Hey, if you look at this picture down in the left-hand corner,
Football.
you didn't see Murray laugh very often.
There's
He's laughing.
Yeah, Tingley was given the annual. What kind of work was Tingley giving?
Well, I don't think Lloyd Tingley.
No, not well. Alex, his boys were Alex, Paul, and
This is terrible. Now we're losing it.
yeah, we're losing it. He was
Carlin Bill.
He was
This-
yeah.
This picture might be flipped. It looks like a watch on the other hand, so that's
Yeah, what is his name? Come on,
Come on. I'm with you. I have to do the
great guy, wonderful personality. Had a printing business
Yeah, he was a printer.
across the street where my parents lived,
Well, you had one uptown at the Review.
and he worked out in his garage a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, name him.
Oh, me. On the bottom row left is Janet Stroll, Esther Skinner, Rita DeWinzing, Janet Brody.
Oh, that's Runyon, I think.
Oh, is it Runyon, Vicky Runyon?
Vicki Runyon.
Is that Connie
I
Smith?
think it's Connie Smith.
Second row is the Matheny, Sarah, maybe.
Yeah, Sarah Matheny.
Gobble, can't tell. Huber, Gene Waters, is that Becky Leeds?
Well, maybe that's Swihart again.
Can't
I don't
tell.
know.
Can't tell who
Back
that
row.
is.
Back row left.
Yeah, if I didn't know.
Is that
anything.
Susan Nuccio back there? On the left. That's Susan Nuccio.
No. Can't tell.
Back row,
Okay.
we can't really,
Okay, give them to us, would you?
I don't, I think you got most of the names. It says Ronnie Atkinson says, hi, Cheryl May Pangborn.
where?
I assume she's in the picture. I don't know. Could be Pat Hayes, bottom left.
No,
No, that's Janet Stroke.
this is class of
69.
69. Janet Stroll, Esther Skinner, Greg's sister. Bridget Winston, her sister, and Nola was in my class. Vicky Runyon. And I think that's Connie Smith. That'd been about Connie's day, wouldn't it? And that's
She
all
married a McElroy from Arcola.
Arcola. Yeah. And we know that's Gene Waters and those guys. This is the same kind of era right here.
Yeah, this is the same bunch, kind of.
I'll do the front row and you can.
Well, I'll just pick and choose.
Paul McCollum on the left, Rick Reinhardt. I should know who that is.
Bill Anderson on the far right.
Ricky Wellborn, second in from the right. Bill Anderson, bottom
Far
right,
right.
far right. Next row, is that Mayor? There we go. There's a second one.
Tingley.
Second one on the left is that Paul? No, that's not Paul. There's Paul and Alex, and that's the third Tingley.
We're still trying to figure out the duck.
His dad's name.
God. Oh, man.
Now is that who's that? Fred Hausman?
I don't think so.
Oh, Fred Hausman's the back right.
Fred back right next to Tom Harris.
Second one in from the right is Tom Harris. There is
Is that a mayor?
it's an Owen.
An Owen. Okay.
I think Mayor's on the second row left.
Janice Moody says, top row left to right. Harry German, Randy Owen, Tom Harris, Fred Hausman. Middle row, Gary Meyer,
Yeah.
Lyle Tingley,
Lyle.
Yeah.
Donalds, question mark, Eric Sipe. Bottom row, Paul McCollum, Rick Reinhardt, Greg Siebens, Rick Wellborn, Bill Anderson.
Greg Stevens we missed.
That is Jackie Donalds.
Yeah.
Look at that. Huh. That's a great picture.
Greg Stevens, Lyle Stevens' younger brother. Lyle was class of 67. I mean, Alan Stevens was class 67. That's his younger brother. I work with their dad during the summer at the elevator in Tuscola. There we go, Bill.
Boy, that's a good picture. Man, that's a great picture. Bill Anderson, Gene Murray, Donnie Gibson, Rocky Reimer,
Very good.
Steve Leonard, Bob Trimble, Rick Welton.
Very good. This is class of what, 69, 70?
This is, when did Steve graduate? 70, played ball with Surma.
71.
Rocky graduated in 69.
Yeah, I coached a couple of those guys in the Babe Ruth baseball. Rocky Reimer, I coached, and Rick Wellborn. Okay, there's Charlie Wilson on the left.
Now this is the way boys used to dress up for any kind of
Yes, they did.
affair. All right.
Right.
Now I'll tell you, there's some ball players in this.
So that's Charlie Wilson. Is that Jake Lindsay, second one?
John Lindsay. Yes, I think it kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
I think that's Gibson.
Third one's Gibson's next.
Greg Obrecht.
Rock
Rock
Reimer.
Reimer.
I can't see the guy on the right. Can you slide that? That's Steve Leonard. On the back right is Mike
Holmes.
Gary Neal. Not sure. Tom Harris and
This is just went to Hall of Fame. That's the doctor.
What do you think it is?
Yeah.
And that's Dave Brown on the left.
Yeah. Ox Brown.
Who's in the middle then? Brennan, Eric.
Can't tell. Unless it's Mike Waters.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's Mike Waters.
That's who Danny Matthews says.
Never seen him so happy.
This one's a little blurry.
Well, third one in from the bottom is from the left is Mark Gleiss.
Carlos
And then I think you got Alex Tingley. You got one of the Tingley boys there.
got an Eaton in there. Got a Rome in there. Dennis Chaplin's up top row, back right.
Back Rice, Dennis Chaplin, and
One in the middle is Dennis Ryan. John Surma is second from the left.
what John said on a golf ball.
That's Gary Foltz on the far left, second
Second
row.
row, far left, Gary Foltz. Larry Ring is in the middle.
Yeah, that's Ringo.
Second row, Larry Ring.
Well, I see Foltz now that you say it. He was my neighbor when I was growing up.
That's Cox up here.
Jim Cox.
Jim Cox is next to Dennis Chaplin.
These guys graduated in 71.
Well, do you think Serm was a senior then?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
What class was that? Class D horse.
Is this Hugo again?
Where are we? Who is that?
Rodeo Bill?
Do you have anything on that?
Well, I'm looking here. Got a bunch of people tagged. Actually have a lot of comments. Karen Binion says that's her dad. And Jennifer Cole says, I miss him so much. Alyssa Cincini says that's her grandpa.
Who said that? They were grandpa?
Alyssa Cincini. Not sure how you pronounce that.
She give a name of her grandpa?
Well, that's what I'm looking for, his name.
No.
Crystal Lowry says, hi, Dad. He was sure proud of his horses. He stood jetty man for Bill Huber at our farm. And so the horse may be Jetty Man.
Who's the guy? You got any names on the guy?
Well, that's what I'm looking at. It's these people's dad and grandpa, but
Must have been a trainer for Huber or something,
yeah,
but I don't recognize him.
yeah. I've got 17 comments and none of them say what his name is.
Well, that's old. I think that's old Tex. There's Mr. Glenn Smith.
Glenn Smith and
Orville.
Orville Fry on the far right. And we should know the guy in the
We
center,
should.
but I don't.
You do.
I probably do, but I just can't tell.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jimmy Harbaugh.
Ah. Jim would always bring the art award thing from the Elks to the middle school. He and his wife, very active. Liked him. Fred Ron,
Freddie Ron. I forgot he worked at.
class of 67.
Yeah,
Worked for Bissy?
well, looks like he did.
I guess so.
Inherited his dad's race car that ran down at Macon Speedway. Don't know.
I don't have a name on it that either.
You know, one of Bissy's employees got killed.
Well, he got
Remember that?
one of those truck rings blew off and
Yeah.
decapitated him.
Mhm.
They have cages now they use. Well,
This was us working on your car, I think.
Yeah.
he wouldn't go 10 mile an hour.
I don't have any names, but I thought it was a cool picture.
It is a cool picture.
Two
Yeah, it took us a long time to get that engine out.
cycle engine just didn't go.
Tom Hawkins.
The old community building could be Tom Hawkins.
Linda Morris says it's Tom Hawkins on Santa's knee, and Connie Smith McElroy says it's Glenn Smith as Santa.
Uh, Probably so.
Yeah, she would know.
We got some kids' pictures, but I'm not sure we'll know any of them.
Looks like Missy Chapel.
Well, I think it'd be older than Missy.
There's Bill.
Yeah.
He's got cowboy chaps on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Glenn Smith would come to your house if you requested him. He came to our house. I bet we know some of these folks.
Jana Flume says John Flume far right, and she's up front.
That'd be John Plume right there.
Yeah, that was John graduated, I think in 76
76.
or 77.
Yeah.
I think who else was in that class?
What fun.
Gordy Kleiss was.
Good times.
Gordy Cross. Yeah.
Yeah, that's special.
There's
That's
Willie
Willie Fromm.
Willie Fromm kneeling down on the right.
I bet that's ABC doing their thing.
Well, Glenn was the ABC guy, I think.
Mm-hmm. Willie was.
Steve Hawkins says he thinks that's Janet Flume.
Oh boy, that's
And Mary Jones and Kim Hayford concur.
Bill and I do not contest that.
Nope. But not many of them get Willie Fromm.
Well, some of them did.
Did they?
Jimmy Helm? Oh my God.
No, no.
Just throw it out.
These are little guys, yeah.
Well, what year?
Oh man, I don't know.
Graduate like 78, 79.
Well, if this is,
If John Flume was in there.
yeah, these guys would have graduated.
80.
I was in Arcola.
You were down the town that Wall forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy Clapper says she thinks the blonde in the middle is Laura Van Cleve.
Laura was working late last night.
I saw that. Yeah, we drove by and saw her. Jacking your real estate assessment up.
Yeah.
Trying to see how high she could take
In
it.
fact, she just picked the two of us out for increases.
Andrea Harsha asked if that's Gary Dowd, which I would,
Little dark-headed guy in the front.
with the striped shirt.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess if that's Gary.
Very possible.
Janet Flume tagged Steve Quinn. And Janet Flume says, Linda Morris, is that you behind me? Kathy Clapper says, I think it is Laura. Linda says, I don't think so. So got a few guesses anyway. No names here or here. I'm going through kind of quickly because we got a lot to get through.
Okay.
It said the community building. Any ideas here?
Nope. Galveston looks somewhat familiar, but I can't do it.
Who's back cooking?
Oh man, it's expensive.
Look
Oh,
at
chili, 40 cents.
the ham
Cheese sandwich, 35 cent. Pie, 25 cents.
I'll have 10 pies.
Yeah.
Bud Rice's wife, Mrs. Rice.
Well, initially it kind of looks like her, but I don't think so. But I bet somebody gets it because she looks familiar.
It does look familiar, but I'm not sure. Excuse me.
Nope.
Couple of them look familiar here too, but
Yeah.
I don't have any help on it.
Now, back in the day, we used to You knew everyone when you were a kid, or we did.
Well, I did have some comments on.
I was going to
this
say
one.
on that one, did you have some comments?
Janet Flume says Mary Lou Flume, my aunt, in front.
Okay.
Shopping with Mardell Oberholzer,
Oh, Jim Limna's,
who worked next
sister.
door in her brother's office, Jim Limna.
Yeah, Jim Limna's, buried right next to Jim. Mardell, be darned.
Who is that?
Lisa Weber White says Pam Ridenhart, question mark.
Well, initially when I thought about that, and I said, no, I can't tell.
I don't have
Good
anything
luck.
on this one, but looks like
Lot,
somebody
boys.
told the kids to smile.
Yeah, 3 boys. Good luck.
The Tuscola family?
That's them with the same group of pictures.
They don't look like anyone.
Boyd.
I know Boyd,
Boyd Wiesner,
but who is that
was that
with?
his first wife?
No, not Hattie.
I don't know.
Hmm,
Oh, I'll be darned.
there you go.
That's bottom left. That is Viola Voltus. Her maiden name was Flesser. That is Gus's oldest daughter. And her husband behind her is Chris Voltus, who we called High Voltage.
He opened a clothing dry cleaner place in Champaign, going up 45 on the south side. A big sign said, "Drop your pants here." That was his advertising sign.
Chris worked at the store with Bill Skinner and Gus for a number of years. But Aunt Vi was a sweet, sweet lady. She really was nice. She died suddenly. It was 2 weeks after we were married. So she passed away. She was only, I think, about 50 years old when she died suddenly.
Chris was a golfer and a gambler. And they talked about the time at Caskey when they had to turn the lights on when they were double or nothing up to about 50,000.
Yeah,
50,000. And a Tuscola guy wound up saying,
Raymond Owens.
Raymond, yeah, said, "You don't have to pay me. I just want to teach you a lesson." Okay, second left, Pee Wee Cunningham. On the left is, come on.
Yeah. It's not, is that Mrs. Hauser?
Oh, I was thinking of, that's not Linus Owen, is it?
No.
We should know these people.
We know Pee Wee. Who is the lady on the left?
That's the only. I didn't have any names. Pee Wee's the only one I recognize.
Oh,
No,
that's Willis Jolly.
Jolly.
Willis and Mary Jolly. Willis, one-time president of school board, prominent Tuscola graduate from the 30s. I worked for Willis, drove truck for him.
And the woman is
I think that's Mary Jolly.
because Marcia Scott Alban thought it was Betty Carmack.
Well, who knows? I know what Mary looked like, but that's been 50 years ago.
There's a J.L. Allen. No, not J.L. What's it? Ralph Allen
Well,
on the right.
that's not his wife, so I don't know.
No, must be a Republican. This is a Republican function, I think. With Pee Wee there.
Is that Pee Wee's? Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
in the other picture, yeah.
We're in the 70s now, I think. You can tell by the skirt,
Tell by the hair, that's a good looking gal in the background.
hair and skirt. Did you not have any names back then?
Not on those. I posted kind of late, so people haven't had a lot of time to comment.
There's
Yeah, Tommy Davis.
Tommy Davis, Albert's wife. Still talked to her recently. She's what, 94, 95?
94 or 5. She just had a birthday and she's getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving. Her grandson's coming for Thanksgiving.
And she's on the right.
Exercise most 2 days a week up at the community building.
Becky and I saw her. We were going out to eat at what's that place called out of town?
The smokehouse. The old
Smokehouse, and there was Tommy. There was Wilma Allen, who's probably what, 95,
97.
97, and my old court reporter Nell Gilpin. I don't know what Nell is, and Jim Young from Newman. It was a nice crowd. There's Eric
That's
Flume's
Mrs. Flume.
Eric Flume's mother on the right.
This is the happiest man in the world.
What was her? His dad was Walt Flume. What was her name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's the oldest living Civil War veteran.
We shouldn't do that.
We shouldn't do that. This looks like the old
Montgomery Ward.
Monkey Wards.
What was that guy's name? Did he sell the Taylors?
He sold to Bob and Shirley Taylor, I think. And
Yeah.
they wound up selling to the Kibler girls, to Joyce Lewis and
Mm-hmm.
Houseman.
Yeah.
There's Bill Skinner.
Bill Skinner on the far left.
Yeah.
Fred Seibold in the middle.
Mhm.
Mr. Smith on the John Smith.
John Smith.
And what? It started with a G.
Oh, yeah.
Gossett?
No.
No. He was good friends with Burris.
Yeah.
Gene Cornell.
Gene
Yeah.
Cornell.
Yeah.
See, it's Gene. See,
Now, what is this? Is this chamber meeting?
well,
Gene worked at utility company, didn't he?
yeah.
CIPS or Silco,
Bill Skinner at that time would have been at First Federal.
first federal loan officer.
Yeah.
Fred ran the radio station. John Smith ran the matinee with his brother Warren. That looks like Ray McCumber's. What's her name? Ray McCumber's wife. Married to
Oh, Shirley?
Shirley McCumber, I think. Shirley,
Oh, Fred and Suzanne Schrader.
Fred Schrader and his daughter Suzanne.
Yeah.
Where's Steve at?
Where is Steve?
Fred, longtime funeral director in Arcola, really good golfer. Oh, there we go.
This is not our lunch line.
No,
I mean, our cooks. I don't recognize any of them.
can you slide that over a little bit?
These pictures were in with the opening of East Prairie. So this is probably at East Prairie.
Well, I still don't recognize any of them.
Looks like USI guys.
Guy in the middle looks familiar.
Yeah. You have any names on that last one, David?
Nope.
This is trying to get in your locker.
Trying to hide your combination from the next person.
Yeah, look at the stuff he's got to put in there.
They opened in January of '69. East Prairie did.
The old locker pit.
That's Marguerite McDaniel helping someone down there. I bet isn't that Marguerite?
Well, she got, I don't know.
Looks like her.
Could be.
So these guys would have graduated. If that's 8th grade, they would have graduated in about 73.
Four.
Kathy Chaplin was in that first group that went over there as an 8th grader, I think.
Danny Matthews says Ron Rome, and I think that's Bill Cooper. To the left of him, Scott Gillian standing. Victoria Fernandez says Tom Brady, Greg Higgins, and Kent Manier.
Well, the guy in the back right looks like Ron Rome
Yeah, it does.
with the headband or funny hat on.
Brady says, I can't ID who is sitting in front of me. Bent over, Scott Gillian, Ron Rome, Kent Manier, Mary Pollock, Greg Higgins, Bill Cooper, and himself, Tom Brady.
Very good. Tom Brady's mother was a cook at East Prairie.
Back when kids ate at school, or they didn't eat,
That's true.
no going home.
Don't have any names here.
Dave
Dave Goddard in the back. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back. Tall guy in the back.
Back.
David Goddard.
Yeah, he became principal. Well, he was principal down at Girard for many years, and then he came to Atwood. And actually, same time I was principal here at East Prairie.
I played EI League baseball with Dave. Bob Hastings coached. Dave was the first baseman along with Lyle Loman.
Left-hander.
And Lyle Loman was also a left-hander, played first base. Two left-handed first basemen. That looks like Brady in the lower right. Ronnie Rome in the middle.
Yeah, it's the same
Same
group.
of ruffians.
Tammy Reynolds Boser says, hey, that's me in the back wearing a white shirt. Gail Nielsen, Janet Zimmerman, Jim Dixon, Ron Rome, Bill Cooper, Scott Gillian, class of 75.
Oh, God.
There you go, Mrs.
That's Helen Sanderson, secretary for many years at
Who's
East
with,
Prairie,
who's
North Ward.
you know, who's with her?
I think that's Connie Hill.
That's who Joyce Lewis says.
Oh, Jack Williams.
Jack Williams, the superintendent.
Yeah. That must be the first day they moved in.
Danny Matthews says, Mrs. Beck. Tammy Reynolds says, Brenda Reed, is that you? Yep, that's moving in day.
Oh, boy. Great picture.
Mr.
First
Sargent,
day, Bill Sargent and Jack Williams.
you took Mr. Sargent's position, right?
Yeah, I taught for Bill. Well, Jack was superintendent when I started teaching. And because he told me not to screw it up if I was going to hire me. But Bill and Jack were together at Arthur as teachers. Bill taught junior high math. Jack taught sixth grade. They went their separate ways. Jack came to Tuscola. Bill went to Kankakee up in that area. Then when they opened East Prairie, Jack called him, said, you want a job here? Both were really good athletes.
Bill and his
at their
brother,
schools.
Bill and his brother were great athletes at Arcola.
Yeah, Bill was captain of football and basketball team. Jack was a heck of a basketball player over at Indianola.
These guys were both there when I was at East Prairie, and
Yeah,
what I remember is they were very nice.
Classy guys.
yeah, really wonderful educators.
There's your lunchroom, Bill.
Yeah, there it is. See the chandeliers, man, that was a big deal. Those chandeliers.
I think they're still there, and I think those tables may still be there.
You might be surprised. I think the chandeliers are gone, but
Are they with
I
the
can't say it for sure.
with the renovations? They
Yeah, there's been a lot done over the years.
yeah, I haven't been in since they renovated.
That's the same group of kids, I think, probably the same year. that day of the move.
They must not have moved in the summer.
That
Andy
was
Matthews
class of
says,
75. Those kids were in what, sixth grade, maybe.
and Danny
Right.
Matthews says Jeff Lake, Anthony Martin, Gary Roach, Rick Jones, Grimbo, Kevin Connor.
Kevin's the very back guy.
Back there.
Kevin Connor says, I think that's Bill Vaughn, not Gary Roach.
Well, it looks like Grimbo,
And he said Tony Martin is in the black coat.
short guy.
Yeah.
Gene Waters says, I see Kev Connor.
There we go.
Yeah. Raymond Lee and Walter Cronkite.
Now, is that Jim or that looks like Jim Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Ray was big in
Counting.
Scouts. He even got
Boy
the,
Scouts.
what did he get, the silver antelope or something?
Yeah, he got the
Biggest-
highest award.
highest
you
award
could
you'd
get.
ever get.
Yeah.
From Billy Lee.
Billy Lee, Mrs. Lee was really a nice lady.
And is that Jim or is that Brian Lee?
They both looked alike when they were young. Jim went to law school at University of Colorado in Boulder, came back home to practice. That may be Brian, but it looks like Jim also. When they were young, they looked an awful lot alike.
Raymond was from Martinsville, wasn't he?
He was Hinker Lee. We were at a game down there at Martinsville, and we asked him about Ray, and they said, "You mean Hinker?" I guess he had a nickname of Hinker Lee.
I recognize Walter Cronkite.
Yeah,
He was all Breton.
really big in Boy Scouts and all public functions back in those days.
Yeah.
There's
Master
again.
That's RC. That's Mr. Wellerman
R.C. Woolman, the old principal.
at the high school.
Everybody liked Mr. Woolman, one of the all-time favorites. And Amos, of course, is one of the all-time, from my era, you thought of Amos Albritton and Bill McCarty and Vern Wright and those kind of guys. Just, if it was going to be done in Tuscola, they did it.
Yep, I remember Amos.
Vern Wright, speaking of, there's Vern Wright on the right. Jimmy Wright's dad. Judy Wright was your class. Jimmy's my class.
Yeah. Janet was my class.
Janet, excuse me, Judy was class of 62.
Yeah.
And there was an oldest one. What was the oldest Wright girl?
Jane.
Jane Ann.
Jane Ann Wright, probably class of 59 or so. I still can't tell if that's Jimmy or Brian.
I think it's Brian.
Well, Jimmy got the same awards.
W.A. Bozarth presenting awards to John Clapp. Oh, I know what this is for. This is for
Douglas County.
Douglas County basketball, but who was the big guy?
Played center for the Knicks.
I guess so. W.A. Bozarth, John Clapp.
There's Walt Flume
There's
on the
Walt
right.
Flume.
They ran the Gambles downtown.
Yep.
Right next to Gus's. There's his wife. I'm not sure who worked for him. They wound up selling that, I think, to Dick Parker and Maggie Parker. They moved to Arizona. There's David Porter. They caught him with his
Caught him red-handed.
with his marijuana. He thought it was cigars. He thought he was growing Robusto cigars.
Yeah. He told them they were growing cigars.
Where'd you get this shot at, David? How come this never made it in the paper?
It might have.
Let's put that out.
That's Craig Hastings on the right. He brought this big marijuana plant over to the office for us to take a picture of, and so I went out to check it out. And as soon as I grabbed hold of it, he arrested me for possession.
Well, that's what when I was state attorney, that's what all the defendants said.
Yeah.
That's a standard cop out. Hey, you ought to put that out of the past in the paper next week.
Yeah, I don't think so.
High times in Tuscola.
Yeah. the guy least likely to have a marijuana plant in Tuscola.
Since he gets high on,
Pictures
On,
here with the marijuana plant.
yeah. Yeah, you're probably immune to marijuana, cigars. Oh, those are, wow, you got a lot of photos in this week, David. David, I'm telling you, 95% of those or more never made it in the paper, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
Because I used to religiously read the paper back then, and most of that stuff is just new.
Well, yeah, like opening up East Prairie, you probably only ran 1 or 2 pictures, and
Was it Lyle Tingley?
No, well, the son, he had 3 kids.
I'm talking about the dad.
Lyle's one of the sons.
Hmm.
Lyle, Alex, and Paul.
Man. I mean, you know, I know where they lived. He was president of the national.
ABC, just a
ABC.
great personality.
Yeah.
Married, his wife was Jim Lamb's wife's sister. They were sisters. Sister of Jim Lamb. What was his name? Well, there's something your readers can help us with what Mr. Tingley's first name was. He was a next door neighbor. I grew up across the street from him and his 3 boys.
yeah.
I called him Bob, but I don't think it's Bob.
Well, we'll see.
Well, if we wake up and, by the way, about last week, there was a style show photo of my sister all dressed up with Kenny Snyder.
Holding hands.
She's wearing a mink, looked like my mom. And his brother Jerry was with an older woman. And I just figured out who the older woman was. That's Clark Igo's wife.
Really? Sybil's mother. Helen Igo. She was secretary at the Old North Board.
Yeah.
Is that the picture I sent to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had time to study it.
I knew, yeah, I had
Keith Tingley. Yeah.
And Bill came up with it first, though I was thinking it.
I was thinking Keith, but I thought maybe that was a son.
Oh, I was too.
Oh, yeah.
I want to give Bill some roses here. And I was channeling mental telepathy. Keith.
Well, Keith, I could see where, Keith and Bob, those sound a lot alike. So
Oh, they both have a K in them. They both have a K in them. Yeah, I'm glad Dingo finally got some roses here.
Keith
Tingley.
Hey, man, he is driving me crazy.
Well, it took me 2 days to figure out Mrs. Igo. I almost woke up at 2 a.m. and called all you guys. So that was Mrs. Igo. That was Clark Igo.
You know, we played golf with him.
When I was in college, I came back that summer and worked at college. Some reason I got in the golf group with Leonard Bunning, Chick Schroet, Chris Voltus, Clark Igo, and Leonard
Bunning.
No, Chick Schroet. And Chick Schroet was a great golfer.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys were like 2 handicap golfers.
Oh man, they were tough.
And Chris Voltus thought he was a 2 handicap golfer and bet accordingly and lost a ton of money.
Yes, he did.
Chris was not a 2 handicap golfer,
Yeah.
but Clark Igo was a great golfer. Leonard Ray Owen was probably a scratch golfer. Chick Schroet was a 1 or 2 handicap.
Well, Raymond Owens could play for money because he gambled on everything.
He gambled everything. He'd gamble what time when the clock would strike 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the rumor was that he took Chris to the woodshed down there at Caskey putting
On the putting green.
double or nothing up to about 50,000. And I think Raymond finally, the story is he forgave the debt and said, I just want to teach you a lesson about you're not a 2 handicap. Anyway, drop your pants here if you get a chance. Chris was a dandy, wasn't he?
Chris was a dandy.
Chris was a dandy.
But I caddied for him in the state amateur golf tournament in 1961. And he did give me a good grip. He did show me how to grip the club.
Maybe a good grip. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What did you shoot?
I can't remember what he shot up
But those
there.
guys were good golfers.
Oh, yeah.
Leonard
they
Bunny
were
was a good golfer.
golfers.
And that's back when clubs were made out of willow tree branches and the ball was
You used rocks.
used rocks or gut, cat gut wound up in a little rubber thing. Those guys could really play. Bill and I've got the greatest equipment in the world now, and we couldn't touch them. Oh, Bill Rogers played with those guys too. There was a big group of guys that played back then.
That's
think-
it today. We went through a lot. We had almost 100 pictures today.
Well, and we got probably, we got a good 10% of them, Bill and I.
You did pretty well.
David, I know it's hard work. Once again, I hope the people that's realize what you're doing for the history of Tuscola and for all of our enjoyment.
It's appreciated, I know.
We appreciate it. And if we appreciate it, that means we appreciate it at
That
least.
means everyone else should.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week on Remembering
David.
Tuscola.
But-
Have a good day.